Good evening. We'd like to bring this meeting to order.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 7, 2022. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspapers and posted on public bulletin boards.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate. President Minikino.
Here.
Thank you.
So rumor has it there's brownies here from Troop 60339. Is that true? Where are you? Very nice. I heard you guys want to lead us in the national anthem. No, huh? Come on, give it a shot. Come up front. Come on. Pledge allegiance. Come on. Need a little encouragement? Come on. So we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence, okay? Right here is fine. It's all right. Good. The flag is right there. That's perfect. Whenever you're ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, young ladies. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from June 14th meeting?
Motion. Second.
Thank you.
I put Heather and Art.
We have,
Councilman Albanese?
oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Councilman Halloran?
Yes.
President Minikino?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, tonight we have a couple presentations. I'd like to call up the mayor, and he's going to do presentations for the community development block grants. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Probably on now. No? Yeah, now it's on. Yep, yeah, it was on. Okay, thanks. Good evening, everybody. This is a terrific night. We're able to do this once a year thanks to the CDBG money received from the federal government. So I just want to talk about social services. I'm going to speak about each organization very briefly because we have the actual people who know about the organization here in attendance that's going to be able to speak towards their organization and what they need and whether or not they need volunteers or donations or whatever they may need. So feel free when you come up. So social service agencies fill a crucial role. They provide basic, essential needs to our residents and do so with caring and compassion. Each year, the Township receives community development block grant funds to use specifically for social service projects. We award these funds via grants to agencies as well as programs that are here in Brick that serve our residents here in Brick. We received more than $129,000 in requests, and we have this year $54,438 in funds to award. So the selection process is not easy. The council and I appreciate the hard work for all the organizations that have applied. Representatives from some of these groups are here tonight to highlight and briefly speak about their organizations. So the first up is the ARC. If you can come forward. Lauren. Yes, there you are. They are receiving $3,500 as part of this program to provide vocational skills training for people with intellectual disabilities. So Lauren, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm with the ARC Ocean County chapter. We serve 1,000 individuals with disabilities throughout Ocean County. We do housing, job training, employment supports, support coordination, family services, and clinical support. This particular grant is really cool because it provides our employment supports with funding. So our staff take individuals with disabilities out to different jobs, like at Five Below or different restaurants, and they get training right there on site. And then ideally, it would become competitive employment, so they can become self-sufficient and work right in the community. So we are, of course, always looking for volunteers, like Mayor Ducey mentioned. You can visit our website, arcocean.org, for more information, or you can always reach out to me directly. My name's Lauren Gandula. I'm the development director there, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you at some of our upcoming events. Thank you.
All right. Next up, if we can get Executive Director William Salcedo, from Big Brothers Big Sisters. They are receiving $5,000 towards its goal of providing children facing adversity with strong and enduring professionally supported one-to-one relationships that change their lives for the better. So, yes, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the council, to the mayor for this generous grant. We will be expanding our community-based programs in Brick. What that means is that we carefully screen children that are coming from single-parent homes. We carefully screen volunteers. We ask for a one-year commitment, and then we make a match. We don't make matches just based on warm bodies to warm bodies. We want to make sure that we're making a real interest with commonalities, personalities, so that this one-year commitment extends. Our average match length for Big Brothers Big Sisters is over 3.5 years. The kids that we serve are between 6 and 18 years old. Our pillars: self-esteem, helping them build their self-esteem, helping them overcome obstacles and risky behaviors, and most importantly, educational success. We want our kids to have post-secondary options. So along with the mentoring, we provide wraparound services. For example, in August, we're providing college prepping for our high school kids. That's lacking in our high school systems. So we're providing that in the month of August, and then in September and October, we'll start with SAT prepping. So that's just a little flavor of what we provide at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and with the grant, we'll be able to expand our services in Brick. So thank you so much to the mayor, the council, and everyone who helped us with this grant.
Next up is Megan from Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey. They are receiving $3,500 tonight to assist the homebound and elderly with nutrition, transportation to doctor's offices, as well as companionship. Megan?
Hello, everyone. Oh, can you hear me? No? Okay. So we have been the proud recipients of this grant for some time. So what our services do is we serve over 2,000 seniors who no longer drive in Ocean and Monmouth County, but we take our subset of Brick. We serve 236 as of today households each year, and on average our volunteers provide about 3,600 hours to Brick residents alone each year, and our organization as a whole provides around 30,000 hours to our community through our volunteer services. So the whole goal of our programs is to help seniors age in their homes as a part of their community, and what our volunteers do is they provide support where they might have gaps in their supportive network. So if they need a ride to the doctor, that's one of our most heavily utilized services. Our volunteers will pick them up free of charge. Grocery shopping, we provide pet therapy, friendly visits, calls, all things that help our seniors continue to age in their home. So in addition to any other care, we all know if you ever had a family member who you were helping who were aging in their homes, you know it's so much work on the family. So our volunteers, we just make that connection between community members, so we keep them a part of our community, so when they don't have to face institutionalization, which we know if you've ever had to have that conversation with a family member, it's a difficult one. So that's what we're here for, and we've been in the community for over 20 years, and with support from you all, we'll stay true. Thank you.
Next, Marilyn from the Church of Visitation. They're receiving $3,000 to help fund the Visitation Church Community Lunch Program.
So tonight I see a few of my family members here, and I was just wondering if they expect a free meal after this. I don't know. I'm here with one of my very dedicated workers. So on behalf of all the volunteers of Visitation Church Community Lunch, I graciously accept this check with huge thanks to all involved who helped to secure it for us. We cannot have done this without the vision of Frank and Isabel Chronics. Unfortunately, we lost Frank about 3 years ago, and then just recently, earlier this year, we lost Isabel. But as sad as it is to lose our directors, we are blessed with devoted volunteers to continue their dream. We are in our 14th year and have served over 4,000 people. But not only do we feed the body, but the mind and the soul as well. Lunch is the third Thursday of every month from 12 to 1 in our parish hall. It is open to everyone, and as people have said before, we're always looking for volunteers. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Mother Teresa. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. This is our aim as we keep dishing it out. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Next is Wyatt from Community Services, which is also better known, as everybody knows it, Meals on Wheels. They are receiving $5,000 as part of their hard work to provide hot, healthy meals to our seniors.
Thank you, Mayor. And so I so appreciate this on behalf of our participants. If you didn't know this, actually, BRIC has been tremendously helpful with the senior programs, and I'm honored to be up here with all the other programs you're supporting. But last year, we served 35,966 meals to seniors, and we ask, it's strictly volunteer. If you didn't know this, we give them envelopes. We never look at the end of it. We ask them to consider giving us $2. As you know, with all the cost of things, a full, healthy, clean meal cost us like $11.25 by the time we serve them, but we ask them for a $2 donation. So the grant we actually put in is called PUT. It's Pick Up the Tab, and so BRIC is actually not only for those 35,966, but for 10,000 of those meals, they've 2,500 for the 5,000. But anyway, the real sense is we're taking care of people. And as the previous speaker, not only their physical body, but the ability for them to meet other people, talk to other people, have a real sense of life. And so for all the volunteers and the other groups who are here, thank you. And quite frankly, for the folks up on the dais, for Bricktown, who's always been taking care of their seniors in so many different ways, and the citizens, I want to thank you, and I appreciate it so much.
So we have Karen, Courtney, and Alicia from Dottie's house. They are receiving $3,000 to provide temporary shelter, counseling, and support for victims of domestic violence, including women and children.
Good evening, everyone. This is Courtney and Alicia. Courtney and Alicia are actually interns at Daddy's house. They're graduating this month with their master's in social work. So we had to bring them up because they are a part of the process of a Daddy's house. So for those of you who do not know what Daddy's house is, it's domestic violence shelter, transitional housing program for women and children who have survived domestic violence. And I like to use the word survive because they're survivors. And at Dottie's house, for those who knew Carol Wolf, who's no longer with us, but she passed away 2 years ago. Carol had a great vision in 2000 to open a program that would allow survivors of domestic violence and their children to start a new life, to become self-sufficient and do the things they need to move on in their lives. So we have 17 apartments at Dottie's house. So each family gets an apartment with beautiful people like you. The furniture come from the community at Dottie's, in the community. So it's great when the woman and her children move into Dottie's house, they have everything furnished in the building. Because many of our families come from out of Ocean County, but also in different parts of New Jersey and parts of the country. We have families coming from different places. So they stay for 2 years at Dottie's house. They get to rebuild their lives. We have interns like Alicia and Courtney working with them, doing therapy, helping children to build their self-esteem and feel better by the time they leave the program. Because many of our families are coming broken from domestic violence when they come in. We have domestic violence group, and the greatest vision that Carol had was that the mama would come into Dottie's house and pay what we call a program fee. So she's actually continuing to learn to budget herself, so when she goes back into the community, she knows how to pay her bills, and she can pay her rent and everything. So for a 1-bedroom, they pay about $400 for the month. For a 2-bedroom, it's $517, and a 3-bedroom, it's a little over $600. They're also learning to pay their utilities and all of the things that will help them to be self-sufficient. Her other vision is that you have to be working to be a part of the program, because in reality, domestic violence or not, you have to be able to work and support yourself when you leave the program. So we have a domestic violence group. We talk to them about healing. We have therapists on site who help them with their emotional and trauma healing, and also the children. And we have an art teacher who has been with us for a long time, who does a lot of artwork with the children. When they're finished with the program, and the case manager, when they're finished with the program after 2 years, all of the furniture and everything that's donated, they can use that to furnish their new places that they move into. One of the biggest struggles right now for our graduates is that housing is a struggle out there right now for many people, including our graduates who are ready to move into the community. But hopefully we start to see a shift in housing, and that these women can start moving on. I've been there 18 years, and I could say I have seen so many women who have been broken and traumatized change their lives, make a difference. And as I said, with interns and therapists there, we're able to change families' lives and give them a sense of hope. So I thank you very much, including all of you, for this opportunity to come and talk about Dottie's house. And as I said, most of our donations are furnitures from the community. So if you're ever interested in finding out if we need to furnish an apartment, you can call Dottie's house and find out what we need. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up is Marion from Interfaith Hospitality Network. And they are receiving $3,500 towards continuing efforts to provide support for homeless families with children. Marion?
I do want to thank the mayor and the council and all of Bricktown for all the support that you have given to us. We are celebrating our 25th year serving the people of Ocean County. We serve families with children. It has always been our most thought to make sure that the children understand they are wonderful, they are loved, and we have seen them succeed. I told you 2 years ago about the one child who came through program 25 years ago who is now a medical doctor. I now have a former family member, who is now sitting on our board and is doing fabulous. Most of our families are LPNs who are now, because of Patty and Carrie, stressing education, stressing technical training, getting their RNs, they're transitioning. We have another mom that just bought a house for herself. It is just amazing. Oh, we're having a baby. We are actually having a baby in program, and maybe tonight. Who knows? But I'm happy because this baby is going to be loved. We have volunteers who will be the person that the person comes to and just hands their child over and goes and sits and collects their thoughts. They are the secret sauce, our success. And we've had so many successes. We were open during the pandemic, never missing a meal, never missing anything that happened. Birthdays, Christmas, they were all completed by these wonderful volunteers. And thanks to all of you who really and truly made it happen. Thank you very much.
Next is John from the Jersey Shore Council Boy Scouts. They are receiving $3,000 tonight towards its summer camp program.
So I'm with the Jersey Shore Council. We serve approximately 3,000 youths throughout Atlantic and Ocean County. We do that through 1,500 adult volunteers. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to build character, leadership, and positive achievement in young people ages 6 to 21. And through this grant, we can help provide that to families that can't afford scouting. They apply for assistance, and through this grant, that helps subsidize that. We greatly appreciate it. Right now, our summer camp is happening in Barnegat. We have a camp there, and we have about 400 kids there right now. And we'll continue every week to have kids there, in huge part to this grant. So thank you very much.
Next is Dawn from Oceans Harbor House. They're receiving $3,500 to assist homeless, abandoned, and abused youth with shelter, meals, tutoring, and programming through a network of professional counselors as well as case managers. Dawn?
Hi, I'm Dawn Samaritano. I'm the Director of Finance at Oceans Harbor House. I've been there about 6 years now, and it's just an amazing organization. We have a transitional living home that has 12 beds, and we have an emergency shelter that has 12 beds as well. The emergency shelter is for kids ages 10 to 16, and that's a short term. It's like 30-day. That's when to get them out of the home for whatever reason, whatever horrible reason there is. And then we have the transitional living home, which is ages 16 to 22. And these are for the kids that have aged out of foster care and really have nowhere else to go. We teach that they work, they go to school, we teach them living skills, we teach them how to live on their own. They all have jobs, they save their money, 50% of their money is saved, so that when they do leave the program, they have a little nest egg, and we help them set up. We also have an aftercare program to help them transition once they leave. We like to say, we have other programs too. We have a family crisis intervention unit, we have an electronic monitoring program. We like to just say that these are good kids in bad situations. A lot of times there's a misconception, homeless kids, they're couch surfing, like with drugs and stuff. That's not our kids. Our kids are good kids, just in bad situations. And I want to thank Brick, because you guys have been supporters of us for so many years. I mean, since I've been there. So thank you very much.
All right, next is Rachel from Providence House. They are receiving $10,000 to assist abused women by providing domestic violence counseling and legal advocacy in the family court system. Rachel?
Thank you so much. I'm the Community Affairs Manager at Providence House. We serve victims of domestic violence and their children, as well as Dottie's house. But at our program, we have an emergency hotline, an emergency shelter where we normally house 27 women with their children, but currently, and with other situations, we're able to house, we have 88 clients right now. And I know that Brick Court really recognizes the work that we do, and it reflects in this grant, so we're so appreciative. We also have legal advocacy, which is what our amazing advocates do here. We've been here in the Brick Court for over 20 years, and here they provide legal options, counseling, and they accompany victims of domestic violence in court, so that they're not alone or intimidated. We attend court up to 10 days a month, whether it's in person or virtual. And we continue to have a strong working relationship with the court staff, police department, and the prosecutor's office. And I've been with Providence House, I was just telling those ladies, for 11 years doing community affairs. And you know, we have never seen so many clients, but I've never seen such giving, especially in my position. And like the recognition from the different communities, it's happy and it's sad, but you guys are making a huge difference. So thank you so much.
Next up, Charlie, Jean Ann, Tom, and Fred from Brick Morning Rotary Club. They are receiving $3,000 towards the Shore Movement Food Drive.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. My name is Fred Peters. I am president of the Brick Morning Rotary Club. I'd like to obviously thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to everyone in the council for this award. You know, a lot of people ask me what Rotary is, and I basically say is this: we are an international service organization, but the reason why I joined is because everything that we do, we help people in town or locally in the surrounding communities. And this group has really put some fantastic things together. It started in late 2019 with an idea of putting some bins out there to collect food for people who are in need. Charlie, who is our treasurer, he was our committee leader on this project. And Jean Ann, who is the foundation treasurer, also took part of it. And Tom, who is a current member of our group, is our marketing partner with his company, Wingman Planning. And what has happened to this date, so when the pandemic really hit, that's when things went into overdrive. And now we have over 50 bins in 12 towns. One you'll see right out there. So if you ever come back into Town Hall or some of the other places in town, we hope you drop off some food or toiletries. And not to throw in garbage. And to date, we've made over 15 donations in Monmouth and Ocean County. But the biggest thing I wanted to point out is that the ones that we're doing, the donations we've made in Brick. And we donated to Seeds of Service, Drum Point Baptist Church, St. Dominic's, Epiphany Church, Head Start, Dottie's House Pantry, and Brick Presbyterian Church. In December, or in the holidays when they start, we turn the baskets or we turn the cans around and we do a toy drive. And what's happening there is it was an amazing, amazing achievement this year where we had over 35 Jersey Mike stores join us, and we collected over 4,500 toys from over 80 businesses. And those toys were donated to places like the Brick PAL, Time to Share, and several other small churches. So we always are asking for donations, and we are always asking for members. And one of the things I'd like to attest to is I had no idea what Rotary was until I saw some of the things that they do. And we host a Christmas party for special needs kids in December, and we hold a comedy event every April. And all of that money that we raise goes to scholarships and goes to the $25,000 in donations that we've given out this year. Some of the people who are at organizations are in this room tonight, such as the Boy Scouts, Brick America Baseball, Harbor House. So, again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you to the council. And if you're interested in joining or learning more, don't hesitate to come stop by after the meeting. Thank you.
Your checks are in the mail.
Next is Retta from True Vine Community Services. They are receiving $1,938 to provide temporary shelter, counseling, and support for victims of domestic violence, including women and children. Robert, Retta.
Thank you so much to the mayor as well as the council. My name is Retta Jackson. I am a local pastor, my husband and I, Walter Fair. And we founded True Vine Community Services Incorporation about a little over 5 years ago in 2017. And our vision was to reach people who would not typically step foot inside of a local church. And so the very first thing that we noted that there were a lot of people who were addicted to drugs and who had mental illness. And so we opened 2 transitional houses for women who had been through domestic violence. That extended to a men's transitional home as well. Currently, we have a food pantry. We provide counseling because we didn't think that it was possible to recover without counseling and or work. So we also partnered with local fast food restaurants and places like Walmart to refer people to get jobs and begin doing job training and things like that. A year ago, we also opened a Code Blue site, which is through the state of New Jersey, and it's for those that are homeless during the months of November and April to provide an overnight stay. And so my greatest joy has been walking through our community center and our sanctuary, seeing people resting safely and in a warm place. And so this grant, what it will help us to do is to possibly open another Code Blue site and or get transportation. I'd like to thank Brick Township Police as well as the surrounding town police, because last year, our first year at our Code Blue site, the police did most of the transporting for us. And it was just overwhelming. I was filled with so much joy to see the police taking time out of their schedule to bring homeless people into our site who they may be found at a local Wawa's or 7-Eleven. So once again, this grant will help with opening another Code Blue site and or getting a van to provide transportation for our homeless. Thank you so very much.
Anyone here from the Church of Epiphany? They are receiving $3,000 towards providing vital assistance with food, housing, and utility bill assistance to families in need. Anyone from Contact of Ocean and Monmouth County? They are receiving $3,500 towards its crisis hotline. So again, thank you to all the participating organizations and for all the hard work you do. It means so much. So like a night like this, so we just spent about 35 minutes that we do once a year, and it's awesome to hear what these different organizations do and how much they mean to the community. It really means a lot. There's people out there who are in need. People don't realize that. A lot of people live in a bubble. They don't realize that somebody, your next door neighbor could be going through something, or even a family member that you might not know of that's going through something. So hopefully getting the word out through this once a year helps in getting, maybe somebody deciding that they need help to go out there, and there's help out there to be given, and us just being we're a very small part, the CDBG. It's really about what the organizations do and how much they do for our community. So thank you, each and every one of you, for being here tonight, and let us know what you do and how you help the world make the world be a better place. So thank you.
Thank you. So we have another presentation. I'd like to call up Councilwoman Zapsik. She wants to recognize National Park and Recreation Month, so I need Dan Santinello and Rob Burns, please.
All right, thank you, Council President. So years ago, there was a commercial on TV for Life cereal where 3 kids were at a breakfast table with 2 of them trying to decide if they liked the cereal or not. And finally, one says to the other, "Give it to Mikey, he'll eat anything." Well, I bring that up tonight because having been a rec director for almost 15 years, I can confirm that recreation departments are the Mikeys of municipal government. Want to start a new program? Give it to the rec department. Community garden? Rec will handle it. Fitness expo? Rec department. Farmers market, outdoor Zumba classes, barbecue competitions. You get where I'm going with this. So while it's often the first thing that comes to mind, municipal recreation departments are not just for sports programs anymore. In towns all across New Jersey, recreation departments and their intrepid staff are routinely responsible for drug and alcohol prevention programs, senior citizens programs, early childhood programs, arts classes, craft classes, and fitness classes for all ages, summer camp, fall camp, winter camp, basketball, softball, and soccer camp, sports lessons of every kind, concerts, parades, fireworks shows, fishing derbies, craft shows, dances and movie nights, large-scale community and holiday events, small-scale community and holiday events, parks maintenance, ball field maintenance, in some towns like ours, beach and marina operations, and other towns' municipal golf course operations. They do it all and more, and they get up tomorrow and they do it all over again. Since 1985, the month of July has been designated as National Parks and Recreation Month in the United States. Whereas National Park and Recreation Month is a celebration of the important role Parks and Recreation plays in our communities and the invaluable benefits that Parks and Recreation departments provide to citizens by giving access to nature, physical activities, life-enriching programs, and much more. Whereas the residents of Brick Township are fortunate to be served by the dedicated staff of the Brick Township Recreation Department, and whereas the Brick Recreation Department provides for the citizens of this community and with exceptional programs, events, and activities through the year, and whereas the Brick Township Recreation Department, which is a proud member agency of the New Jersey Recreation and Parks Association, also oversees the Brick Farmers Market, Summerfest Concert Series, and our popular beaches. And whereas the township is also served by our Parks Division, which is responsible for maintaining our community's many parks and recreational facilities. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, and State of New Jersey, we join Mayor Ducey in designating July as National Park and Recreation Month in the Township of Brick. We urge all of our residents to take some time this month to celebrate National Park and Recreation Month by participating in one of the many programs and activities and events offered by our Recreation Department or visiting one of our township parks or recreational areas. We thank and commend the staffs of the Brick Recreation Department and the Parks Division for their hard work and efforts to provide residents of our communities with opportunities to enjoy exceptional recreational programs, events, and activities. And so it is with great pleasure as Chair of the Recreation Committee that I present these resolutions tonight to Dan Santinello, our Superintendent of Brick Recreation, and Parks Department Supervisor Rob Burns, in recognition of July as National Parks and Recreation Month.
Okay, boy, girl. You know how we like it.
Yeah.
Ruining my hip. Popping. Well.
Too far? I think they want us out of the picture.
I think so.
Me too.
Vince's shoulders are too broad.
Is that good?
You're right.
How are you, okay?
How's that? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
We do.
Thank you. This brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. And if I could ask for item 4.9B to be removed from the consent agenda and
Yes.
removed from the agenda
Yes.
altogether. Thank you.
This brings us resolution 4.1, please.
Recognize National Park and Recreation Month, July.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution recognizes July as National Park and Recreation Month, and in Brick we have exceptional Parks and Recreation Department that offers our residents a diverse mix of programming, events, and spectacular active and passive recreation areas. Kudos to the dedicated staffs of these departments for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4.2.
Authorize receipt of bids, purchase and delivery of construction supplies.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the purchase and delivery of construction supplies. This bid is for construction supplies used throughout the township for in-house projects, repair, and maintenance. These materials will be requested for various projects and events during the year. Thank you.
Thank you. This 4.3, please.
Authorize award of contract roadway resurfacing, Point Pleasant Manor, Phase 2.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So this resolution authorizes the award of contract for roadway resurfacing in Point Pleasant Manor to Earl Asphalt Company out of Farmingdale, New Jersey, and it's in the amount of $713,913.13. And it's work to be to be completed in this project includes the milling and resurfacing of a number of streets. So those streets are over in Point Pleasant Manor. They include Washington Drive, Adams Avenue, Jefferson Drive, Truman Drive, Taft Avenue, as well as Taft Court. There's also going to be drainage improvements done over on Truman Drive. Bid notices were provided to 77 prospective bidders from our bidders list. Out of those 77, 11 picked up bid packages. Out of those 11, 6 actually were received, and the prices ranged from a high of $1,179,735 all the way to the low of $713,913.13. And Earl Asphalt Company out of Farmingdale, New Jersey is the lowest responsible bid, and I'm sure the residents out there on those streets are looking forward to this project getting underway and being completed. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4.4.
Authorize award of contract purchase and delivery of flood control valves.
Mr. Mayor, please.
Thank you. So this is a continuation of our efforts to try to alleviate the flooding, or the sunny day flooding problem that we have here in town. As we all could maybe remember, last year we spent $300,000 on the check valves. This is after we did a little bit over of a year study on one particular check valve, which was successful in stopping the water from coming up during high tides. So we were happy that we found that company because we had tried other check valves in the past and they did not work. So this resolution here authorizes the award of contract for the purchase and delivery of flood control valves to WAPRO Incorporated out of Chicago, Illinois. It's in the amount of $200,000. So what this is a 2-year contract that ends in July of 2024. This is a not to exceed contract for a variety of sized flood control valves as needed throughout the township's low-lying areas. Bid notices were provided to 3 prospective bidders. One bid was received. It was from WAPRO Incorporated out of Chicago, and that's what we're asking for the council to approve tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5.
Authorize award of contract rental and laundry of Public Works uniforms, floor mats, rags, and fender covers.
This resolution authorizes an award of contract for rental and laundry of Public Works uniforms, floor mats, rags, and fender covers to American Wear, East Orange, in the amount of $40,000 per year for a 3-year contract. Bid notices were provided to 22 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 6 packages were picked up. 2 bids were received with American Wear being the lowest respective responsible bidder. Resolution 4-6.
Authorize award of contract general athletic equipment and supplies.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an award of contract for general athletic equipment and supplies for BSN Sports Farmers Branch, Texas. MFAC LLC, West Warwick, Rhode Island, and SS Worldwide, Colchester, Connecticut, at a schedule of prices for the various items contained within this bid. This is a unit price bid not to exceed $50,000 per year for the 2-year contract term. Bid notices were provided to 29 bidders on the bidders list at 11 requested bid packages. 4 bids were received, with 1 deemed ineligible based on missing paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Award of contract automated chest compression devices.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of contract for automated chest compression devices to Zoll Medical Corporation located in Kensford, Massachusetts, in accordance with the schedule of prices for equipment. This is an open-ended contract not to exceed $240,000 per year, with funds to be certified prior to each service. Bid notices were provided to 2 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 2 picked up bid packages. We received 1 bid. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-8.
Authorize escrow agreement with Brick Standard LLC.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the execution of an escrow agreement with Brick Standard, LLC. Brick Standard is seeking to sell the solar project they own to Altus Power, LLC. The escrow agreement establishes an account which Brick Standard funds to cover the township's legal costs to ensure the terms of the sale are in Brick Township's best interest.
Thank you. 4-9, please.
49A is a performance bond and inspection fund release for ZMRA LLC, Manalooking Road, in the amount of $17,500.
Thank you. 4-10.
Thank you. 410A is 100% widow and DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 190.01, Lot 15. 10B is tax overpayment for 2021, Block 1386, Lot 10, in the amount of $490.80. And 10C is a tax overpayment for the year 2022 at Block 211.02, Lot 1, in the amount of $198.
Thank you. That ends the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council for comments? Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Yes. Ms. Cole, yes.
Hull, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and I would like some clarification on a couple. Now, let me see where I made the notes that I wanted. The 4-7 automated chest compression devices. I could guess what it means, but I want validation. Is that the automatic defibrillators that
Correct.
so many people or places actually bought to have? It's not different. Because
It's to the next step. It's actually what you're referring to, but better. It does.
Well, I've
yeah.
seen some notices, advertisement, I don't know what to call it, about something like that that works with babies, and it was different from the automatic defibrillators that were made available in businesses and any place of gathering to use. So,
Yes.
So the standard for CPR is chest compression. So many years ago, when I first got my CPR certification, there was kind of a whole rubric of how many compressions to how many rescue breaths. And over the years, the research has showed that the only thing that really makes a difference is compressions.
Compressions.
So now the CPR standard is 30 compressions, 1 rescue breath. Well, if you have one person, say one EMT, and help is delayed, 30
That's
compressions
tiring.
is exhausting, and then you've got to do the rescue breath and do it again. So the automatic chest compression device allows that to be done mechanically so that it's faster. It's also not subject to variation in it really depends on how hard you press. In some cases with an elderly person whose bones are fragile or a child, it's very easy to crack a rib.
Right.
The machine kind of is calibrated to do everything properly and consistently for the best outcome for the patient.
will there be anywhere that we might see these live and get an idea of it? It sounds different from what I remember of those automatic defibrillators, which you did the chest compressions, you did the pause in between, but it was automated for the compressions. And then, so perhaps you could have one available for people that come to town hall to see what it actually looks like, and maybe have a write-up that we can see how it works. I know I had been influential in having it put into Greenbrier too, and having them come in and give us demonstration when we obtained it through the Red Cross. So naturally there was a lot of pushback from one individual because I was the one that researched it. So that's the automatic chest compression here. Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to find exactly where it was. Where's the chest? Oh, here's the chest compression. I do want some clarification. Point Pleasant Manor, that's the area that most of us refer to as the President Streets.
Correct.
The correct name of it is Point Pleasant Manor. Was it some type of a deed restricted development when it was put in?
You know, there's no restriction on I live there. There's no restriction on
You
mine.
live in
Yep.
those, and that, well, people wouldn't know there were restrictions in Greenbrier too, and some of them aren't accurate.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ponterero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $3,624,152.08.
I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the computer bill only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to our manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,928,950.92.
Need a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to an ordinance on first reading, 5-1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 460 of the Township Code entitled Vehicles Operation of.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you. The township has received comments back from the Fish and Wildlife on the required Township of Brick Beach Management Plan for the protection of federally and state-listed species. This plan is a requirement for the beach replenishment project. In its review, Fish and Wildlife made a comment specific to the township's beach buggy ordinance, formerly known as Chapter 460, Vehicles Operation of. Fish and Wildlife requested the ordinance be amended to reflect March 15th through October 1st, with assurances that no driving will occur in plant-protected strips until November 30th. As requested, the township is amending the ordinance to indicate specifically how we plan to keep beach buggy vehicles out of plant protection strips, either through notification as part of the permit process or through enforcement. The township will opt to do both. We have revised the permit process and are in the process of creating and installing the required signage. Brick Police Department will ensure enforcement of the same. This ordinance amendment was reviewed and is being recommended by the Township's Recreation Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to 5-2.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of the donation of property known as Block 380.26, Lot 1, for no consideration.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. A resident contacted the town proposing the donation of Block 380.26 Lot 1 on Brick Boulevard that is located off the Pavilion Adult Communities Main Street, Molly Lane. This property has NJDEP mapped wetlands, and abuts another Tom's River lot with wetlands. The Brick Boulevard lot is the only access to the Tom's River lot. Acceptance of the Brick Boulevard lot would make the other Tom's River parcel landlocked. The Tom's River parcel is owned by the same owners and is in the process of being donated to Tom's River. The Township's Land Use Committee reviewed this and is recommending the donation be accepted. The committee considers this a donation a win-win. The property is on a Township's proposed preservation list.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to 5-3.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of the donation of property known as Block 907, Lot 1, for no consideration.
Councilman Albanese.
Thank you, Council President. The Township's Land Use Committee is recommending acceptance of Block 907, Lot 1, to the Township. This is wetlands and would help with the Township community rating system. This island property also has potential as an idle spot for wetland restoration.
Thank you. Motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes. This brings us to an ordinance on second reading, 6-1.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code in Section 288-45 to add a no left turn onto Beaverson Boulevard from Lions Head Office Park.
Mr. Mayor, please.
Thank you. So this ordinance is being proposed at the request of the Ocean County engineer. They had sent us a letter asking if the council would support prohibiting left-hand turns onto Beaverson Boulevard from the Lions Head Office Park. So it's basically people coming, could be from the office park, but a lot of people really come from the Wawa that's there, and then they, they cut across all the lanes, different lanes of traffic there. So the Ocean County Engineering Department conducted a review and a study of the referenced intersection and approach roadways, and as a result of their investigation, they recommended restricting left-hand turns out of both entrances or both exits of the Lions Head Office Park, as that will improve the overall safety for the motorists. So it's going to prevent left-hand turns for people coming out as you're driving down Beaverson Boulevard towards the Parkway. People cannot make a left out of the office park. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Roll call.
We do have to open that to
Oh,
public.
sorry.
Public comments.
Sorry, public comments. Anybody from public? Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this brings us to our public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public? Mr. Sluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. A little toasty in here today, no?
Yeah.
Phew. Wish I brought my water in. Okay, dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Vincent Menachino, all Brick councilmen and councilwomen, Brick residents and workers, dated July 4th. Just so you know, in case you didn't see the notice, Dr. Farrell sent me a notice saying the Board of Ed meeting next week is moved from Thursday to Tuesday. If anybody wants to make it, we're all part of the taxpayers and have people that we know or are in school. So it's worth going to the meetings, even though they're twice as long as this meeting. Okay, now I'll read my letter. A 14 to 20 foot high pollution, noise, and safety wall along the side of the Garden State Parkway is needed in Evergreen Woods, Primrose Gardens, Briar Mill, Birchwood, Greenbrier, Brick High, Town Hall, and other areas in Brick and Ocean County. 20-foot high trees and thick dense brush that were destroyed foolishly and illegally by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority on the Garden State Parkway should be replanted for the health of all our residents. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority commissions caused the deadly toxins to flow into the residents' lungs, and by doing so have caused premature deaths, autistic children, and devastating lung and heart ailments such as asthma and COPD. The destruction of the environment surrounding the Garden State Parkway is done to gain power by our elected officials and to advance the financial wealth of their friends and benefactors. The residents and workers in the area surrounding the Garden State Parkway are at risk of early onset of COPD, heart attacks, asthma, and other ailments because of the uncaring policies of the commissioners of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority and their strategically situated benefactors. Many studies prove that the ill effects of these tiny particles being sent through the air to our lungs from the Garden State Parkway cause a bedridden life and premature deaths. You wouldn't want to be one of those persons or even the relatives and friends of those poor people afflicted with autism, asthma, COPD, lung cancer, emphysema, bronchitis, and premature death, but we all just sit on our hands and be quiet about it. Are we afraid of the big agencies like the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, or is it that we just don't really care for our neighbors? Since, as the mayor stated many times, we are his family, shouldn't he and the council members stand up for the citizens who are impacted by the toxins from the Garden State Parkway? I also ask all of you to stand up and speak up before the public here and at meetings and those watching on TV, and stand up for those against those well-funded organizations that are running our lives. Are we not Americans? Are we not free people? Are we not governed by the Constitution and the First Amendment? As we celebrate another Independence Day, which is celebrated on July 4th, should we all not fight against big government, big agencies that take over our lives? On this Independence Day and every day, should we be more like the thousands who fought the British for our independence and our freedom, and not have the big Washington establishment act like King George and demand that we shut up and do as they say? Isn't it time we took a stand? Isn't it time all elected and non-elected local officials stand before the people, not wait until election day to fight against big government unelected bureaucracies? How many citizens will die waiting for help? Who will stand up against the bureaucracy, the lobbyists, and the donors, and do what is needed for our residents? Of course, the easy way out is for the elected officials and their appointees to sit back, do nothing on their own, and listen to the lobbyists and benefactors of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority without standing up to the bureaucrats within and outside the federal, state, and local government groups. Studies of air pollution have proven, and I've brought many of them in, over and over again, that the toxins from high-volume traffic areas harm our citizens. With a legacy of autism, asthma, COPD, heart attacks, and premature deaths in this area, the town's council members and mayors should speak up at every opportunity in opposition to the New Jersey Turnpike Authority's reign of terror. An ongoing legal course of action should be taken immediately. Lawyers should meet with clients and file various class action lawsuits, and a call to action needs to be addressed by our government officials. The committee members of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority should be held accountable. We all should stand up for our people. Thanks for your time. I yield back 20 seconds.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Cole, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. May I have his 20 seconds added on to my time, please?
No.
Okay, that's your decision.
Yes.
And I was going to ask a series of questions and await the wisdom of your answers while sitting in the audience. But after seeing the presentations, I changed my thought on that. Not to mention after watching, once again, Mr. Sluka's comments absolutely never be addressed. One of my questions would have been, is the council and the mayor and all of the people public servants or employees of BRIC? And if you're employees of BRIC, aren't you supposed to act like public servants? But I won't do that. Instead, I wanted to comment on all of those presentations. Much, much, much more time should have been given to those people who truly do the work of the citizens of BRIC. I am familiar with most of them and have touched on their jobs tangentially. One of the things I didn't hear, I'm very familiar with Dottie's house and Carol Wolf and her husband, David Wolf, the assemblyman for many years, and had many discussions and talks and interactions with them. I also, as a commissioner with the Ocean County Commission on Individuals with Disabilities, have interacted with many more that were there. The Boy Scout was one that particularly hit me because as a Roman Catholic, all my life, practicing still, I'll get it right before I die. And noticing and knowing and listening to the wisdom of many people that are far more educated about it than I, the crucifixion that has gone on of the clergy in the Roman Catholic Church, mostly by one individual Jeff Anderson. Watch for his name on a lot of the people, presentations that tell you get in touch with such and such legal firm and they'll get you money. Now, he has branched out, but I haven't read and heard as much lately on the Boy Scouts. And he has done for a few other things. Watch out for him. He's coming after all of us. The Boy Scouts, like everything else, there are people who commit sin, awful transgressions, robberies, beatings, killing of 70-year-old men by young men, hordes of them. You can't eliminate it completely, but you can try to air it and do something. The same thing with domestic violence. In fact, many of the crimes committed today touch on domestic violence. I live in Greenbrier too, and at one time, one of our residents who has been involved, I don't know how many people know her, Evelyn Clapholtz, the Lord rest her soul, and she organized a group of us at one time when money was tight for the Meals on Wheels program, and asked us to volunteer to take the meals from delivery at the clubhouse and bring them to the individual houses. I and another woman were sharing some responsibilities, and then my husband took over, so it was he and I, and it was so gratifying to bring it. Well, I happen to have a special affinity for people who are older, and they all responded to me with a great amount of joy. That was the only attention many of them ever got. The Dottie's house, I've always donated and tried to do that. I don't work for any of them. I mean, I'm not physically involved in the work, but I tried to do everything I could. Providence House. Providence House took over the large convent of the nuns in St. Francis of Assisi in Brooklyn, not the one in Manhattan. They were Josephite nuns. A few of them were left, and they changed the whole convent into a Providence House. And I happen to have worked on a couple of the alumni reunions that they had there, which was great. It was also where my father and his brother went to church, as well as Mike. So there's so much, and I'll have to close or I'll be escorted away. But I would suggest you think about having those presentations. Find a venue big enough to house all of them, and that night have it as a community dinner. Raise money for it. And everybody be able to talk about what they are doing and talk with us. I don't know how you find out how to serve us if you are public servants.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Stephen Brill, Evergreen Woods. Does the town council and the mayor pick certain areas in Brick Township as winners or losers? Does the town council and mayor follow the principle of you bought it, you live with the consequences? Why then does Evergreen Woods Park get less public investment in quality of life improvements? Would Evergreen Woods Park get more attention if we were located along a river or an ocean that floods their streets? Why then, for many years, has not been taken to find a cost-effective solution to our noise level increase that resulted from the Garden State Parkway expansion? Recently, a story appeared on the main webpage, the Brick Shore Beat, regarding drug arrests within the 804 condominium unit complex. This article featured a large photo of handcuffs. The article appeared over the 4th of July weekend. It was the main feature for not one day, but 4 days. I question whether there was a motive behind this article that diminished one area of Brick Township. How many other areas within Brick Township have had this much negative focus? Does the town council and mayor's office want this negative publicity? Do you want Evergreen Woods Park to become another problem area in Brick Township? It is within your area of responsibility to find and fund solutions. That includes investing in a sound barrier that would increase the desirability of Evergreen Woods Park for home ownership. The Ocean County Commissioners, Brick Township, and the New Jersey Turnpike Authority inaction led to this situation. You should instruct the Brick Township Police Department to have random but regular patrols in marked cars. High visibility is needed to deter future illicit activities. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public, please? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. My name is Michael Kleisler, lifelong resident of Brick, and I live on Old Hooper Avenue at 2456. Listening throughout this evening, I'm very happy to hear the positivity that opened up this first half of the meeting. I was always told through one of my former bosses his door would be open and you would hear everything that had to be said regarding our positions. And he said that the door is open for a number of reasons, so if you are eavesdropping, you hear it and you get it right. The only thing he asked was that if you go out and divulge that to other members of the workforce, that you tell the story accurately so as to eliminate rumors. But also he said the door was open so that you could come in to air your complaints, but if you do, offer a solution. So I'm just going to touch real quick. I have enough time. With regard to the two matters of concern over noise, I will say I know a little bit about asphalt, and the technologies are always changing. So if we are going to reach out to the Highway Authority, perhaps we want to talk about their usage of asphalts, because there are some that they typically rework that roadway about every 3 years, and they're always looking for pavement that reduces sound. And that's much cheaper than the construction and erection of a sound barrier. Okay, so that quality of life issue now lends me to why I'm here. It's been probably 50 years since Old Hooper Avenue has been repaved in its entirety. For those familiar with it, I'm talking specifically about Red Lion Plaza to Bay Harbor Plaza, which houses Stop and Shop. So living there, I see anything and everything that goes on with the roadway. And what I'm asking tonight is for consideration for you guys to talk amongst yourselves and maybe platform this to the county engineer to consider weight reduction to bring the class of usage of that roadway down to 13 ton, which would be your standard commercial box truck and under, and have no effect on passenger traffic, but specifically with commercial traffic. And the usage of the recycling center, that's probably where most of our short and long-term damages is incurred. And again, that road is designed not so much for industrial usage as it is passenger. An impact study would have to be done. I have no idea the daily volume. I would have to think it exceeds anywhere 10,000 cars on a daily basis, let alone weekend usage and different times of the year. The road itself from Old Silverton, or from the housing on the east side, is roughly 56 homes, and on the west side, my side, is approximately 36. So if we use 100 homes, and we take that anywhere from one occupant to a family of 4, we have anywhere from 100 to 400 members living there, not to mention their vehicles. So again, all I'm asking for is to consider the usage of that roadway. Within that area, it's primarily residential. The only enterprise zones that are commercial happens to be Red Lion Plaza, the junkyard, and then it picks up again at the Bay Harbor Plaza. 13 ton would be 36,000 pounds. I'm sorry, 26,000 pounds, and that would help us as taxpayers to have longevity to that roadway, because another 50 years, most of us are not going to be here, and we as taxpayers can't afford to foot the bill on that repair. And I tried looking to see the cost, and I would have to think that it was well over $2 to $3 million to pave that road, and that's at the lowest bidder. Price is only going up, so quality of life would be emphasized. Please consider my concern, because my concern is many other people's, and just as they have issues of sound, so do we. I'm not making the argument saying that, I know where I live. My mom is next to the junkyard. I'm the next home alongside that. We know where we own. We understand that. We're just asking that if it is considered, then ultimately the finite details could go through, and vehicles exiting the junkyard would be forced to go left, back toward Red Lion Plaza, and not down that road that bisects the usage of Brick Boulevard. That's all I have, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay.
So, yeah, on that, I think it was either April, May, or June, we got a letter from the county that said they had done a study and they were recommending not to reduce the weight on that road. So there's some type of study that's out there already that we can obtain for you and let you see that information. But yeah, it was in the last 3 months, because I remember getting a letter, and I did, they send letters when after they conduct a study, then they send letters saying, like something we did earlier today was like the left-hand turn out of Beaverson. They said that was warranted based on accidents and whatever else. But I remember sometime in the last couple of months that I got a letter saying specific. I don't know if it's I think it's specifically that area, or right around there for sure. So we can get that to you if you want to give your information to somebody, email or. Okay, all right, sounds good.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Anyone else from public? Seeing none. This brings us to council comments. Mrs. Bergen.
I just want to apologize for the heat in the room. We're having some trouble with our air conditioning, so.
Oh, you took your sweater off.
I did,
Oh.
which is unheard of because I'm always cold, so I do apologize to everybody that's a little bit uncomfortable.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. So, I went on the garden tour today, and it was very hot out there, especially at the very end when they were doing their raffle back at the Bob Anstedt. And I got back here at 5:30. I had the brownies that were here earlier doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I had them in my office beforehand, giving them a tour and talking about being the mayor and stuff. And I had to put on my suit immediately from getting back from this. So I thought it was me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sweaty from this garden tour. How am I not cooling down after a couple hours? So it was an awesome event anyway. So and I'm glad to hear it. Everybody else is hot. So it's not just me. So yeah, it was great. It was 7 houses all over Brick, Lake Riviera, Laurelton Gardens, up Beverly Beach, out midstreams. So it was a terrific event. Thank you to the 7 people who opened their houses and their backyard, or really their backyards and front yards to the tour. And it's summer here in Brick, so I just want to fill in on a bunch of things that we heard from all the stuff that the Parks and Recreation does a lot. There's a whole bunch of programs here I want to talk about between now and the end of the month, and Parks as well. So I know Parks does a lot more than just our parks. I know it has the name Parks, but when you see like street ends that's probably Parks doing that. There's medians, there's these odd shaped triangles or circles in the middle of neighborhoods and stuff. That's all Parks Department that's out there taking care of that. So it's not just our parks. Leaves, all of our leaves are picked up by the Parks Department. So they do a lot as well. And the recreation, here's all our programs we have. So this Thursday, July 14th, is the Benjamins, the hottest party band in Ocean and Monmouth County. The next night, July 15th, we have a movie over at Lake Riviera Park, which is a beautiful park. If you don't live in Lake Riviera, go check it out and see a movie at the same time. It's a movie called Soul, which is a Disney movie. Then on July 21st, we're back at Windward Beach for Jesse's Girl, 1980s music, happening at our final Summerfest, and with fireworks, food trucks, the whole deal. July 22nd, Friday night, it's Tom and Jerry, which is a movie, and that is at Hank Waltonowski Park, which is commonly called Birchwood Park, right here behind the Warren Wolf School. So please take a look at that park as well. Then July 29th, we have Clifford, the Big Red Dog, over at Arrowhead Park. So just going out to see movies, having a good time with your family. You get to see 3 different parks if you don't live in those neighborhoods. Then I also want to just let everybody know, August 2nd, very special night here in Brick Township. It is the 50th anniversary of our police department, and it's being celebrated that night. So we want to have a huge crowd and a lot of residents come out to support our police on their 50th anniversary. It's also Kids Night Out, Touch a Truck with DPW trucks. The police are going to have all sorts of equipment out there for kids and adults to have in their hands and see what it feels like to hold various things. Take a look at what a bulletproof vest looks like. I know they usually have some different things going on with the dogs. They'll have the police dogs out there. There's the police boat that'll be out there. The bikes will be out there. But it is the 50th anniversary, so we're going to make this the biggest and best ever kids' night out ever. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cunningham. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary.
No, thank you.
Councilman Albanese.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to all the organizations that we heard from earlier in the meeting. It's amazing what they do. They all have big hearts, and we're giving as much money as we can, and I think we're going to improve on that for all the hard work they do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. Mahatma Gandhi has been quoted as saying the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. I would like to congratulate tonight's grant recipients and thank them for the myriad of services that they provide to the most vulnerable members of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
I just want to echo the previous comments to thank you to all our service organizations out there that help individuals every day in and out and giving their lives to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pantarera.
Thank you. Just very briefly, if anyone wants more information about any individual organization, they are all right now accepting volunteers. I served on the Board of Trustees or Board of Directors for Harbor House for many years. It's a way for each one of us to give back in small or big ways, just depending on your ability. So any of the Province House, Dottie's House, Harbor House, a lot of houses, all of these organizations really run on the power of our community and the, what's the word? Each member of the organization works hard to try to do good for another person. Each one of us can be a part of it. It doesn't take a lot of hours. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts is also accepting donations for the kids going back to school, so they're starting those collections. That's something you can do just through your local organization or parish as a way to help your neighbors. So keep helping. Thank you to all those organizations, and thank you to our neighbors to make them run. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran.
Thank you. It's truly heartwarming to see and hear from all the organizations that serve BRIC. And those people who were not here tonight, who behind the scenes are volunteering. It's an amazing tribute to them. So they do a great job. And hopefully some people out there will hear this meeting tonight and step up and volunteer for some of the organizations that they find most rewarding. Congratulations to Dan and Rob. They do a great job in recreation in the parks. Our recreation programs are unsurpassed by any other town, and the parks are just pristine. So thank you and have a good week.
Thank you. So I just want to echo everybody's comments. I'm not going to repeat it, but congratulations again to everybody. Our next council meeting is Tuesday, July 26th, here, 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn? Motion. Second. Bye.